I don't know why I'm whispering like we're in
Please, thank you. Have a good night, Nick. I don't wanna do that.
You guys got new shirts.
Sort of, yeah. It's just one.
Oh, this is
Like-
the prototype?
This is, well, we could order more, but I ordered one specifically, like, for myself,
Yeah.
and staff can order them if they want, but we just have t-shirts. We have Speranza
Oh,
t-shirts
cool.
that staff has.
I just designed a new People's Clinic t-shirt that I'm about to hit print on, so.
Oh,
It
fun.
has our logo in the upper right, and then the back is this kind of heart design and says, "Free clinics save lives."
I love that.
Do you sell them or?
We will be, yeah. I'm rolling them out just to volunteers and staff and stuff like that first. But I think like whatever website I was going through, it once you order 25 or more, it drops down to like 50
Yes.
bucks a t-shirt. Like, you know, if you just order one, it's like 40 bucks, you know? So yeah, I did my test print, so but I'll let you know.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Actually, I do community skills with some of my kiddos at the school I teach at.
Oh.
And I was wondering about potentially, I don't know the logistics because there's like HIPAA involved because of the
Yeah.
mental health component.
Yeah.
But seeing if they ever wanted to volunteer and. I don't
How
know.
old are the kids?
He's 15.
Okay, I would have to check. It's kind of like, we've had like high school seniors definitely before.
Okay.
So, but we can certainly get them to sign a confidentiality waiver, you know, and
Okay.
have them in like, you know, to do select, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because we do use a lot of volunteers around, so, yeah.
Sweet, I'll message you then if
Okay.
there's an update.
Awesome, yeah.
Cool.
Why are you sorry?
Yeah, right.
We haven't started yet, right?
Well, I mean, we're on, but
We're
we
on.
haven't started.
Okay. I think we should wait another 2 or 3 minutes and see if we're missing, let's see, we're missing 2. Okay.
Great.
Yeah, we're missing Osa and missing.
They're not gonna be there on vacation.
Oh, they're on vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. So let's just wait a few more minutes to see if Tess shows up, and then if not.
Sure. Go on. Yes.
Is that good?
You know, we have lots of good things happening and renovation of a poorly kept up property. Quite literally almost every day, there's something that we're finding out. Like, it's just like when the construction crew comes to me and says, hey, I don't want to talk to you right now. And they're fantastic. I don't mean that way. They're absolutely amazing. They're fantastic, but I'm just like, we don't, what now? Yeah. But it's good. And we're getting there. We're almost towards the end of phase 2, which will mean that 11 and 12. So we'll have 23 rooms having been done.
Wow.
The next phase will take us a lot longer.
Okay.
It's the community space and that whole sort of main building where the office currently is and all that. So that will take us quite a bit longer. It's the demolition of the pool building. We're probably into November with that one. What?
You'd start housing people once you get the 21 rooms.
Oh, no, we are housing
Oh, you
people.
are?
You inherited
So-
some people, right?
Like, we're operating, and we're undergoing renovation at the same time.
Yeah, you're like flying an airplane and doing renovations on.
Building it while we're flying. Yep.
Exactly, yes, yeah, yeah.
Yep, we sure are. Which is why what is this going on today with construction is so like, well, we have to shut off, this for 4 hours or whatever. Yeah, so it's okay, but it's a lot. So I'll look forward to renovations being completed, which will be sometime in mid-December. That's our current target is actually December 20th. It's a pretty long reno process.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 5:06 PM. Welcome to the August meeting of the Barre Unhoused Community Task Force, or Committee, I'm sorry. First up is any adjustments to the agenda tonight?
Yes, we need to add on. That. what
Hi,
Tess
Tess.
sent us.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Tess.
Is Tess, oh, Tess is there, okay.
I'm not good.
What did Tess send us?
Out of my office.
Me and said that we might want to add, what was that? Tess, what was it you wanted us to
Was
add?
that just the decorum conversation at the beginning? Yeah,
Yeah.
so I can just do that at the beginning, so
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So no other adjustments to the agenda. Before we get to public comment, I wanted to just, note that it was a great surprise last meeting to have so many people from the public attend too. And thank you for coming back again as well. And we really encourage participation, but it also was a moment, we've kind of like never had visitors so far in the first 6 months of meeting. And suddenly we had several, and it was a reminder that, we should, revert to some kind of traditional decorum and procedure for, how committee meetings for city committees run. And that is, the committee kind of has authority on the proceedings, and we have a public comment period on the agenda. But also, I feel strongly that if the public wants to weigh in on a conversation we're all having, they should be able to raise their hand and we can call on them, because it's, it would be, that's really useful and participatory. So I wanted to just note that. And I think maybe going forward, we have the committee at one table, and then we ask, the guests and the public to sit at another table. And again, raise their hands, if they have something to add or a question or a comment. So, and I think that will just ensure that, we stay on track with the agenda as well, too. So. Any questions or comments on that?
That sounds great to me.
Okay. Let's see. Up next is the public comment. Any comment from the public? Do you want to identify yourself for the record too?
Jeremy Anderson. And yeah, no public comment.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Number 4 is approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Did everyone have a chance to review the July meeting minutes? Any adjustments or changes to?
Not that I noted.
I haven't seen any letters. So I would accept the motion to approve the July meeting minutes.
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second? Okay. Beth seconded, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, opposed, abstaining. Okay, minutes pass. Up next, we're on to the agenda. The camping platform sites, family idea, was that? We're kind of revisiting the, no?
That wasn't me.
Okay,
Who was?
I actually think it was it you, Tess, that was talking about maybe having folks like adopt a site?
from last time we get.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe it was,
Sonia?
maybe, I honestly don't recall who said it, but
Yeah.
So many meetings
yes,
together, but it was Dawn.
it was Dawn.
Not Dawn,
Hang on,
Oh,
Tess, are we not hearing Tess over
Or
there?
not?
No, I could only hear Tess faintly from your computer.
oh,
All right, well, let me turn my volume up on my computer. My apologies. I don't know why that is.
Smart things that we.
No, she just started talking. Let's try that again.
hello.
No,
That's still not, no.
It's gotta be an HDMI thing. I'll try to work on it, but.
Okay.
Tess was talking though, so if you can listen for what she's saying. And I will.
okay, Tess, talk loudly.
Okay, I don't know why I'm having a brain spasm right now. It came from Good Samaritan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So maybe this is something that OSA, we would just follow up with OSA when they are back
Mhm.
here. So I know I was trying to reach out to some municipalities across the country that have camping locations, and I've just been unable to get the attention of someone in these bigger cities that, I did, let's see what's on our agenda next, if I can bring this up now or maybe wait. Lockers is next, so we'll talk about that. So let's table the camping platform sites discussion until OSA is back, and we can get a bigger debriefing on that. So that was item A. Item B is the lockers. So I traded emails with the assistant city manager in Montpelier, because they do have some lockers over in Barre Street. My understanding, she emailed me back and confirmed that they do, but they had recently shut them down. And she said there was a staffing issue, so I'm not sure if it sounds like maybe they didn't have city staff to maintain them. They do have a pretty robust policy about how the lockers are used. I mean, you have to sign up for one, and then you're given the code and everything. And, you know, if things are left there for a certain amount of period, they will be disposed of. And I believe you can't have things like, you know, food, you know, something that would, like, you know, go bad or things like that. I think with the idea that a lot of times it's personal items, you know, maybe camping equipment, things like that are being stored. So I'm gonna, I asked for follow-up information, and I haven't heard back from her yet, though. So, but I think maybe this committee should invite someone from, you know, Montpelier City Council or Montpelier staff with, you know, the city manager's office to just tell us a little bit more about why it didn't work out for Montpelier right now, or if they're thinking about bringing it back, you know, if they have. You know, and I'm also thinking if they're not gonna be using these lockers, maybe this is something that, you know, we could, you know, easily bring over to Barre, so.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And Tess has her hand up. I just want to say
Yeah.
it. It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Montpelier had their city council meeting last week, and they're tightening things up. So one of the things was reducing when a camp is dismantled or belongings are taken, there's a 90-day rule for keeping those items for a person to retrieve, and they've just shortened it to 30 days.
Okay.
So things like that, like I don't, you know, seems like things are shifting in the municipalities about rules and tolerance. Just
So, okay. So it sounds like they're adjusting their rules based on possibly experience from the past few years. Yeah, okay. So let's see, maybe we can get someone from Montpelier next month to just kind of catch us up on what they're thinking, maybe more big picture, you know, in terms of some of these changes.
Yes, do you want to do that, or would you like me to do that?
If you have some sources over there, yeah, I don't really know. anyone
Yeah,
who's
let's talk
Montpelier
about it, Brooke.
these days,
Okay.
so. Yeah, and Ann, you have something to add?
I did, when we were talking about the encampments and stuff. Do we have a list of where people can publicly charge phones?
Oh,
And my reason why I'm asking is because I saw a bunch of homeless individuals while I was sitting in my car waiting to come in here. I noticed that you guys had a bunch of plug-in stations out there that they were using. I was wondering if we knew if we could get another list of that stuff or figure that out.
that's it. And I know, I mean, we have one behind the clinic, which is frequently used, and then one in the waiting room. And just this morning, I let someone in 30 minutes early because his phone was dead. And, you know, sure, just hang out in our waiting room and charge your phone. So but I think it's an interesting idea. Like,
Yeah.
all the places that people will be like, yeah, you know, I mean, so this is on the poles out in the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
The chargers?
Yeah.
Was that by intention? Do you know?
I don't believe it was by intention.
Okay.
And I'd have to check, but
Yeah.
I don't believe it's like, okay, here's a spot that people can come and it was advertised or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a few of them out there.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea. We could maybe like crowdsource a list of all, you know, these places where people could charge their phones.
So are they like level 1 kite chargers that people are using?
don't know.
I don't know anything about.
Okay,
Yeah. It's an outlet right on the pole,
On the
right?
pole, yeah.
So they come with their phone and their charger already. Yeah.
okay.
So they're just looking for a place to plug in. I imagine that happens at the library all the time. Like that's probably, yeah. Oh,
So the library and the, oh my God, the stand in the middle of the park,
Oh, yeah.
they've shut off the electricity
Okay.
to, stop people from charging their phones because there's been problems.
Mm-hmm. And, is that the, for the library, is that the exterior? Yeah, okay, yeah.
And
I didn't know
it's
there
not
was-
the grandstand, whatever that.
Bandstand?
Bandstand,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
I didn't know they had outlets there.
Something
either,
like
so,
that.
Yeah.
At the library, what was happening is people were going behind the bushes and they weren't just charging their phones, they were using devices, you know.
There was
and
a
you-
microwave plugged in, I think was what.
Microwave, yeah, all sorts of things, and so they didn't want to encourage it. You know, and any of the churches, when people go in for any of the feeding, they often do charges. We try to keep the charging cables here and
Yeah.
keep an eye on them and have them right there for people at Good Shepherd, I know.
Mhm.
But you know, it's after hours.
Yeah.
It gets to be a problem.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay, thanks, Tess.
So you want me to make some calls and see what I can find out?
Yeah, if you could, that'd be, like, maybe we could just start a Google Doc internally for the committee at first, and we just kind of drop in places we know, and obviously like check with, like we're comfortable at the clinic to have people hang out back and charge. We haven't had a problem yet, but I haven't even thought that someone would plug in a microwave, so,
Right.
but yeah,
Well, and I know that Sunrise doesn't have a problem when they're there, like taking their showers or,
right,
eating a breakfast or something, they don't like them
yeah.
plugging in either.
Where's this?
Sunrise. On 34th Berry Street.
Oh, it looks like we got Fern over at the, yeah.
But,
Thank you.
That's a monthly.
Yeah, it's a. I know it's in summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe when we kind of compile this list, some of the locations may be time specific. And also maybe like activity specific, so, yeah. Okay. Hi, Bern. So we're asking that guests sit at another table outside of the committee will be at one table. Sorry, Bern.
That way you can keep us straight.
Exactly, yes. So for the record, Bernadette is here as well with the public, and we had public comment earlier, Bern, but is there anything you want to add?
No, I'm here to listen.
Okay.
See what I can.
Yeah. And if you have any questions or comments, just raise your hand and the committee will call on you, so. Yeah. So it sounds like we'll do some more work on the lockers, and also phone charging stations. Number C is the rules about the hotel for the winter. Was that you, Kathy, or?
It wasn't me, but I can certainly tell you
Okay.
what the current rules are.
Yep,
Just
please,
because
yes,
we have
yes.
to know what
Yeah,
that
yes,
is,
yes.
but
Because there was a recently a change,
No, I
right?
think that
Or-
was me that put it on there. 'Cause
Oh,
I wanted to know. It.
Well, they did, okay.
okay, well, I am not economic
knew you
services,
had
but
it.
this
Yeah.
is how, so there's a couple of things. Legal aid won a lawsuit.
Yeah.
And that has been appealed by the state. So what we don't know is if the days between April 1st and the end of June will continue to count against people's 80 days or not. The state had said yes for folks who had been in that cohort, and that wasn't everybody who used days during that time. There was a specific, there were specific folks who were eligible under the governor's executive order. So if in fact the state wins that, then those days will continue to count against folks 80 days in a rolling calendar year.
Yeah.
If the state loses that, then folks will have additional days available to them, and we do not know, as far as I'm aware, exactly when that's going to be heard, because the appeal has been filed by the
Okay.
state
Yeah.
around how they're counting those days. But absent that, the legislation says that you get 80 days in a calendar year. That's not a difference than what it was before. Or not a calendar year, sorry, backtrack, 80 days in a rolling year, which is you start using it on today on August 20th, then you have until through August 19th the next year to use potentially 80 days of hotel stays if you remain eligible, of course.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
the days in that rolling year that don't count against the 80 days are when cold weather is in play, according to the legislation, and those dates are set as December 1st through the end of March. So those days, if you're categorically eligible and are determined to be able to get a voucher.
Yeah.
Then those days don't count against the 80 days.
Okay.
So if folks are categorically eligible December 1st and they get into a hotel, it is possible if they continue to remain eligible and they get sort of re-upped over periods of time through the end of March. And that is when hotels will see those much longer stays,
Yeah.
generally.
Mhm. So with the lawsuit and the appeal right now, is the law of the land still the original executive order? Or we're waiting to see how the appeal is resolved, or are they taking like kind of applications for vouchers again for folks who?
Oh, no, they are.
They are.
Yeah,
who thought they
we're having
exhausted
folks
their 80
housed.
days. Okay.
Yeah,
And they're getting into housing right now?
they're not
or-
getting into housing if the state has already determined that they use their 80 days and they're using the determination that they feel is correct.
Yeah,
They will have to recalculate that if they lose this
if they
appeal.
lose the appeal until.
I mean, I'm not a legal beagle,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
in
yeah.
general, that's kind of how it will play out.
Yeah.
Or unless they come to some agreement with legal aid
Okay.
around that,
Right,
you know, I
yeah.
suppose anything could happen, but,
Yeah.
but that is it. We had a pretty large number of folks leave between the last week in June and late in the first week of July based on
Mhm.
various times that they began using
Yeah.
their days. So, so yeah, and we're getting a bunch more folks in, and they're new
Yeah.
folks. They're not
Okay.
folks we saw prior to then.
Oh,
So the
okay.
state is definitely going by what they said.
Yeah.
And the legislation that just sort of re-upped the program is really the same criteria that it was last year,
Mhm.
which is, you know, you get in under the criteria
Yep.
that it's set at, and December 1 through March, the end of March is one set of days that don't count,
Yep.
and then any other days during that rolling year from when you start using it count
Mhm.
against the 80.
Okay, so like those 4 months and then plus the 80 if you qualify, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Barre.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
From the public at all, or?
Kathy, do you know if it's for any of the eligible folks that were dehoused, or if it's just the ones that legal aid filed suit for?
No, legal aid filed suit based on how the executive order was counting the days versus not, because the reality is what happened is the executive order was in place and nobody really knew until kind of the 11th hour that they were deciding that they were counting that against the 80 days. I mean, it was certainly sometime in mid-June, but it wasn't like folks knew that in April that was how the state was interpreting it. And I think that, that came from sort of the governor's office conversations, at least as far as I saw things unfold. Because if we'd known that earlier on, we would have been able to be more clear
Sure.
with guests, or with participants in the program.
So then potentially they could, all get 90 extra days.
80 extra days.
Oh,
And it's not necessarily extra if
Well,
you
you
go
look
by
at
the
it
way
and
it was,
Mhm.
and yeah, and the judge at the time, because the whole thing was heard, and basically said, no, you can't count those. So basically, in that way, not everybody in the program was in under the executive order.
Mhm.
So they would have had those days count in that timeframe, which is it's what's happened since COVID with this program, which is every year the legislature takes it up. Every year they decide whether there are changes to the program. And every year we run up against some sort of a deadline where folks are likely en masse, likely to become ineligible. And almost every year there's some legal pushback or there's an executive order. And then there's the question of how that counts or if it counts and all of that.
Are they still capping it at 100 rooms? For Vermont?
It's 1,100.
Now it's 1,100, okay, so it's 1,100.
I believe the cap did not change, but I can't tell you with 100% certainty. I think basically what happened was what happened last year, but I can't tell you with
So the
100%, but
102 would also count for the cold weather exception time, or no?
no. The room cap does not count during cold weather exception.
Oh.
But it counts all other times. So if the program is being heavily used across the state and I'm determined eligible, but they've hit their 1,100 room cap, even if I'm eligible, I don't get a room. I can keep calling and hopefully tomorrow there's an extra room in the cap, you know, and that's what people do, but yeah,
Mhm.
welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
Is there any provision in any of this for establishing congregate shelters?
The state put aside, I can't remember the exact amount, more money for shelter expansion this year,
Mhm.
which is separate than this pot of money
Right.
that deals, and separate from this legislation that deals with the hotel system. And locally, two different things are happening. There's a group, in the faith community, Vermont Interfaith Action, who was starting a process to provide some, under certain circumstances, shelter from the cold. So there's this criteria, which I can't lay out to you because it's
Right.
not my program and I don't know enough about it yet, but they are starting something that will be local and potentially around the state because it's Vermont Interfaith Action. The second thing is that Good Samaritan has been able to secure, it doesn't actually increase the number of beds during the winter as much because Good Samaritan was already operating the Elks in Montpelier as an overflow shelter is kind of what it was. But has been able to move, they've been able to move forward and are in the stages of purchasing property in Montpelier to do a permanent shelter in Montpelier, which does more permanently expand the capacity. So it wouldn't just be a cold weather type shelter. It can be a shelter around for all seasons. And that does expand capacity in some ways because that goes away at a certain time at the Elks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for that's very helpful. Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's why I put it out there.
I know. I knew I would know.
Item D, take a look at the Middlebury encampment policy, and I think everyone probably got a copy through their email. And this is a recently passed, March of this year, passed by the Middlebury, it's a select board out there.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
printed a couple out so that we could sort of share and pass them around. I can let you all take a look if you want to take a look at it. You'll have to share because I only printed a couple of copies.
And I know I've only just kind of started going through this, but I do find it really interesting. I think it strikes a fascinating balance. Obviously, who knows how their experience might be with the, implementing this, but it lays out kind of where encampments cannot be on, city property, and why. But also kind of a wraparound services and the idea of really kind of bringing social services to the table, making sure that they all have outreach to these encampments as well, and a process that would help folks get into permanent housing as well, but also make it clear like when maybe an encampment is a public safety hazard or something like that, or is there criminal activity happening there, things like that, when maybe the city would have to take action as well to take down an encampment. So I think this is a fascinating starting point for this committee, and I'd be interested in hearing what Middlebury's experience is with this playing out. And quick question for Tess or Brooke, but like, does the city have a formal encampment policy like this, or is it kind of like more ad hoc, or how does that look right now?
Actually, that's what, this one.
Oh,
Okay, so.
We have a city councilor.
I don't super unpopular
Mhm.
by me saying this, but like when we're looking at this stuff, the city is like very clear, there is no camping in
Yeah.
Barre.
Oh, yeah.
So like when we're looking at like platforms or this. It's going against like what the city, so really, is this really gonna be attainable for us to do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it is very clear, like, there's no camping in Barre, and I know that, I mean, I go to different places, and I know people are, but I just. is This a realistic, like, how, if this is what we were gonna focus on, like, how are we gonna make this attainable and. Yeah, you know what I mean,
I
like,
do, I
where I
think
feel
it-
like the, what, sorry.
No, please continue.
Like I feel like I feel like the lockers and like that kind of stuff is very like how we did porta potties and we've done like lots of
Yeah.
good. And all of it's good, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm getting nervous, so everything's going sideways in my head. But yeah, this is just coming from the city point of view.
Yeah, totally.
Is a big
Mhm.
thing, and I mean, right now, it's a hard no, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know where. That any new thing that gave permission for camping would come from, or how it would come about,
Yeah, well, it
or,
would come from this committee. So essentially you're saying
Yeah.
there would need to be a policy change
right,
for the city. So I think it's useful for us to recognize that is an obstacle that would need to be confronted before we brought anything to the city council. So, yeah, no, I agree. I think I'm not opposed to radical ideas, but I'm a pretty pragmatic person too. And, you know, my background as a lobbyist is how do we get the best version of this done in a way that works best for everyone? So, yeah, but I appreciate kind of like the reminder of what the policy is on the city level and the city council level. So, yeah.
sorry.
No, no.
I started shaking,
No,
it just
yeah.
goes
The
sideways.
minutes will say threw cold water on all their ideas, right?
I also want to say that one of the things that makes something like this really challenging right now is that the state was unable to, and I think it was just, you know, what do we have to focus on right now? But the state was not able and did not fund street outreach
Yep.
for our local agencies, most notably Good Samaritan.
Yep.
Literally zero funding for it. So they're gonna have to fundraise for that
Yeah.
work, and they will do that, and it is what it is. But if we had that resource that was fully funded, it might be a bit of a better spot for us to stand on, because in my mind, the city's gonna look at even the request and say, so who's going to do that work? And if it's maybe untenable right now, if we don't have defined funding for that stuff right now, that, I mean, I want all this much as much as the rest of you, but that to me would be probably a real challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Uh-oh.
but I mean, just to be realistic. I feel like, cause I mean, okay, I can only speak from my position, but there are so many different agencies in this community that are doing constant reach out to the homeless. And offering the services, and they're not even like located in one place. So I feel like, I mean, unless they're brand new faces, don't get me wrong, and I understand everybody's different. But I mean, I just. I just feel like, yeah, even if we said like, okay, cause they'd be like, okay, well, Brooke can go do this, or Brooke, you know, like, that's usually what they say.
Oh.
So, but, and that's fine, but you know what I mean, so I just think it'd be really hard to get the council and city, like, just everybody on board.
Mhm.
Well, I
Well,
do
so-
go reach out to people.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, can you just clarify, on board with an encampment policy,
Yes.
or on board with lockers,
No,
or?
on board, just within Canton
Okay, yep,
policy.
yep,
That's the only thing that I mean, cause. That's like really attainable, I feel like.
yeah,
Where it's not switching policies, where
Totally.
that encampment one, like, I don't even know, like, so they would have to go through the city council and approve it, like, we'd have to present it first, or however.
yeah.
But I mean. So,
Yeah.
no, I fully believe in like attainable like, all of us are here because we care about this and we
Yeah.
wanna help. But then the realistic side
yeah.
of it too, of, like, everybody outside of this.
Yeah.
Like how they're like cutting, like, cutting back on like the electrical outlets, like, and
Yes.
you know what I mean, so it's not necessarily swinging in our,
We're pushing up
Against,
against,
yeah.
yes, we are.
so I just wanna be really realistic.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that, and I think it's very important for us to take like that check, and remember kind of, what is attainable, what the obstacles are, but it does sound like, something around like lockers is something that there is some consensus around, like that's, something that we can move forward on possibly, so.
And even
Yeah.
like the warming shelter at the Good Shepherd, like, there's been so
Oh,
many
yeah.
positive, like,
Oh, yes.
reports, like,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
just, this is the one I'm kind of like, oh.
yeah, that's fine,
Feeling about.
yeah,
Like start with the lockers.
Yeah.
Start with the other things
Yes,
and then
yes,
move
yes.
ourselves towards the larger type of things, yeah.
So do you have any idea when or if the information is solid yet about VIA doing these winter shelters?
They've been granted funding
They have.
for sure.
Okay, so it's happening.
It's just a matter of what that looks like in practice, and I think that they are working on it. And I missed a recent meeting where it was discussed more in depth, so I know that, yeah, Tess.
yes,
So, yeah, so I've been talking to them because of Good Shepherd's involvement in, first of all, it's really slated for 10 below or colder. It's one of the things that the state is putting out there for, how, we can determine if we're gonna open up a shelter and pay for it and have the state pay for it. It's tricky because what's gonna come with that program is a ton of rules that they're gonna try to standardize any kind of shelter activity to one way of doing it. Might be okay, might not. But the other thing is, they have money to do things, but the thing is so so every time I meet with them, I say, we don't need anything except a sprinkler system at Good Shepherd if we're gonna do it. And they say, well, we can't pay for a sprinkler system. And I was like, well, we don't need anything else because we actually have the volunteers and we have everything else that we need. We can raise our own little bit of money that we might need. So I don't know if they're really putting forward a program that's going to be worth it for the communities to engage in. I think they have some drawing board stuff to do. But for Good Shepherd, if we had a sprinkler system as required by the fire code, we could have more people on any given night, and it would be up to us and our community to decide when those nights are.
Yeah.
Does that help?
yeah, so Tess, it sounds like there'll be too many strings attached to be really effective, right?
Yeah, I think they're bringing a solution to looking for a problem.
Yes, now I understand you correctly that it's 10 below or colder?
Yes, Beth.
Wow.
Wow.
I know.
How many days out of the year that happen?
10,
Yeah,
10
10?
last year.
10 days.
So all that work, all that money to pull together infrastructure, all that administrative funding for 10 days in a year.
We could have used that money for something else.
Maybe a sprinkler system for maybe
Maybe a
20
sprinkler
days in a
system.
year or 30 or something.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Tess, out of
Because the thing
curiosity,
is-
was there, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I just think that I don't think people understand until they've been doing this and talking to other people, that all of our towns are different. And we have different needs and different push points, should I say. For instance, Middlebury's camping policy, I'm reading it and I'm going like, well, if we adopted that policy, we would be, I keep using this word, for every single thing in my work right now is the word constrained. Barry's constrained. Barry's constrained by its topography, the layout, the buildings, the lack of parks, the lack of, you know, just that word seems come up in everything I do, whether it's housing or flood mitigation or whatever. And we're compact. So in a way, we're in a good position to be helpful to people because we're so compact. That's not true of Middlebury. That's not true of a lot of other communities. A lot of other communities, rural communities, maybe they do need that help. I don't know. But trying to do a one size fits all from the state on down, you know, we've had a lot of different kinds of experiences with that are not, they need more time. Or maybe we don't need it at all. Maybe we need a sprinkler system.
So with BIA doing that, does that preclude individual towns from doing their own cold weather?
Well, what they want to do is go across the state and set up a way of doing a standardized cold weather shelter.
And what they're hearing from people out in the field doing this is that's not necessary, right? That's not what the needs are on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, if I just really wonder what other people are saying about their needs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, I like that our community is pulling together volunteers to hang out, to thank you, Bern, for that amazing food. I like that our communities are taking care on these very specific nights that a need it presents itself. I don't believe we need staff. I don't believe we need, I don't know what else. We have 12 cots. The state gave us 12, or Red Cross gave us 12 cots. We've got, you know, and the little bit of money that we need to fluff it up or have things ready and available. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so many other needs.
Yeah.
This
Tess, what was
isn't
the
one.
estimate for a sprinkler system? Do you know?
Earl is actually getting quotes right now, so I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
I'm going to say in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And they won't let us just sprinkle where the area we're using. We have to sprinkle the whole building.
The whole building. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And then the congregation has to decide whether they want to look at sprinklers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know there's a lot of considerations but that's what we need.
Yeah. Thank you, Tess. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me. Now it's on the record.
I think we should table the encampment policy, but keep it as something that we can talk about down the road. Obviously more research is needed here, but I do think there seems to be consensus around lockers as the next step. And so let's see if we can get some information from Montpelier by the next meeting on what their plans might be, and if maybe they have some infrastructure we could inherit.
Well, if we were gonna get more information from Middlebury, who would we contact to find out exact, you know?
We probably have a town manager, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know who that is, so, yeah. So Beth, do you want to come back with some, on that too for next month?
Just curious.
Yeah.
I totally get what you said. Thank you.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, is it one of those things like almost like by having an encampment policy, like that opens you up for, being something other than a no camping allowed policy, right? Like the not having a policy, you know, is preferable than having some kind of policy. The policy automatically opens up the idea. 'Cause I mean, I was thinking you could have an encampment policy that completely restricted, right? Like, you know, it seems like a lot of the encampment policies are, you know, lean the other way, but like, you know, so.
Which, I mean, maybe if we had Nicholas come here,
Yep, yep, yep,
you know, and he can talk about it.
yeah, okay. And so just for follow-up, Beth, I think you're gonna talk to someone in Middlebury if you can, right? And also, ask around about charging stations. Brooke, you're gonna talk to, our friends in Montpelier and see what you can find out. So, okay, great.
Our next meeting.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. That was the last item on our agenda for the evening. We are about 13 minutes early. Any other business that the committee wants to bring up? We do, let's double check for our next meeting date, make sure that works for everyone. Oh, Tess, sorry, yes.
I got a lot of stuff, but, the portalets, I just wanted to give you an update.
Yeah.
So we started out with 2 and we got a ton of complaints on Church Street from it was by the Heading Methodist Church. And I want to say, not from the church. The church is very, very pro portalet, but their neighbors were not. And it was getting hot and it was getting a little bit untenable. But we figured since there is one in Courier Park all summer long, maybe, you know, that would be good enough. And then we'll revisit. The other one was moved around a little bit, and its most recent resting place was out behind the old. It's the parking where the parking lot is behind the what was formerly the Dunkin' Donuts, but now it's not there. We thought that was a good place because it was somewhat out in the open, but not super out in the open. It's near the courthouse. It was downtown. The company that we dealt with pulled it. It was, I don't want to say it was set on fire. It was melted as if somebody was trying to set it on fire on the side. And there was so much debris, human debris. And they said they were sucking needles up through the hose that they use, and it was clogging, and they just said it was probably one of the worst things they had to deal with. So the company pulled it.
And it was just that portalet at that site, like they didn't have the same problems with like the Courier Park ones.
I don't think it had been there long enough.
Okay.
And I should check with Tracy and see if there's anything about the Courier Park. Anybody has to say anything about that. I mean, so anyway, but I do know that there's portalets around town owned privately, but they're not locked. The one that seems to be used most is the one that is behind the railroad depot, that Quonset building or the metal building where the trains park. So it's right by the entrance into Metro Way. If you're driving into Metro Way to the right, there is a portalet there. You know, it's going to have to get revisited, but you know, we were getting the complaint. You know, we just started getting complaints. It was like it was so silent, and we thought, oh, this one's working. And then all of a sudden, we had people talking about all of the garbage and debris around it when they park their cars to go to work. You know, it's right there, and it's all around where they're trying to park. And before we could even do anything about it, the company called me and said, "We're pulling it." So I feel badly about that because it's not to me, a direct reflection on homeless people.
Yeah.
It's a direct reflection on the state of affairs for where people's minds are right now, whether it's drugs or mental health, whatever, but it's not great.
Well, that's disappointing news, Tess. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
What other bad news do you have to tell us?
Nothing, except I moved my office out, so actually, and I'm sorry, I just got a little late working on a project, but, I look out over City Hall Park now, and,
Oh.
I like it, you know, I see the activity, there are, kids and dogs and people, and, for the most part, it's doing okay. There was some, again, the few baddies, doing vandalism on the gazebo, but the whole skirting around the gazebo has been donated by one of the local metal fabricator companies, and it's all metal now.
Oh, I was
So,
wondering what the difference was. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yep. So that was nice. It was like somebody said, I can help with that.
Yeah.
So, and they
It
did.
looks
They
good.
stepped up and did it. So that's pretty nice.
Okay. Thanks, Tess. Anything else?
Mhm. I just have the lunch tomorrow if people are.
Nope. Yep. Okay. Noon at the library?
Noon at the library.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing that I'm going to start for announcement, Kristen Bauman and myself and Rebecca Baruzzi, who's at Green Mountain United Way, a dream team. We're putting together a showing of a partial showing of the film Join or Die on September 24th. That's a Wednesday night at 5:30 at the Aldrich Library. So we will be showing the film, but not all of it. I think we're going to be able to get a cut version that Vermont Public put together, and then an exercise afterwards where people can talk about joining. Being that the social capital and the health of a community is, it can only improve by people joining things, being together, doing anything from sports clubs to churches to social clubs to book clubs. I don't want to say like service clubs,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever it is, it means to you, but it's an encouragement. So that's an event to look forward to, and I'm announcing it in every sphere because it seems like it touches everything we do. Look at you all; you're on this incredible committee, But
The meeting tomorrow at the library, or sorry, not the meeting, but the movie at 11.
Mhm.
Want to share about that? I don't know the name of it.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a webinar with the person talking about housing, homelessness as a housing problem. And it's a housing issue. So apparently I haven't read this book yet. Somebody, Kristen Bauman did. And so it's going to be actually, I think, an interview with the person that wrote that book that talks about, like you really need to be talking about housing.
Yeah.
We'll see. So if people want to come early and check out the film, they can do that.
Okay. Thanks, Tess. That's
Mhm.
tomorrow at the library. 11 is the film.
That's at
and then
11,
noon-
and then we just go right into lunch at 12.
And it's probably too late to put my lunch order in, right, Tess?
I got a vegetarian for you.
Yeah, the vegetarian, yeah, okay.
Can I just announce something?
Oh, yes, please, yeah.
We're doing the Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, Belonging Committee. I'm also a liaison for council for that committee. And we're going to read the book Evicted and have a book club at the Aldrich on the 25th of September at 5:30. So you're welcome to
Nice.
come and join us.
It's a great book.
Oh, I'm not familiar with
I
it.
haven't read
I
it.
have.
I read Poverty by America, the
Really good.
same author.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to read it.
I'll look this up.
He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
What time?
Yeah.
5:30.
5:30.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, we have 4 minutes left. Tess, was there anything else or were you finished? Okay. Let's just make sure that, next month's meeting time works for everyone. Looks like September 17th
Yes.
at 5 o'clock. Let me just pull up the calendar.
I hope to be on a vacation
Oh, good for you. Okay.
on that week.
Yep, I should be fine with that one.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Anything else from the public before we adjourn for the night? Okay, thank you for attending. I would accept the motion to adjourn at 5:57 PM.
So moved. Oh,
Okay.
I'll second them.
Second,
Whatever.
go. Okay, all
One
in
of us.
favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you all. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, Tess.
My apologies.
Bye.
No, it's no problem at all. Yeah.
For